pull the whole thing down. I'm going to bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's going to be biblical.
G'day.
Hello.
And welcome to Patriots Across the Pond, which was going to be episode 11. But Elisa and I have been doing a bit of Zoom Philip meeting for like the last couple of hours. And we just found out that Phil can't join us today. Unfortunately, one of his friends has hit a deer at 65 miles an hour. And he's had to go to rescue them. So he has sent us his apologies and stuff. But he can't make it today. It's a real shame, really, because we were looking forward to this, like we do all our interviews. Yeah. But we haven't
rescheduled him. So we'll keep you guys posted. We're going to reschedule.
Yes, we will.
Take care of his, the emergency.
Yeah.
Hey, we were just chatting that we're freezing our asses off. It's so cold. I just put my heat up, and you're all bundled up too.
I'll put my tub of dryer on. Yeah, cheaper than heating, but yeah, I'm warm enough and stuff, so that's all right. We were just discussing as well that how little action we get on Facebook and all that, and you just saying you don't really get anything on your profile, do you?
No, I have 2 profiles. I have a lot of friends on there as well, and I don't get anything. Like, I used Facebook for a very long time to promote my coaching business. And, I put a lot of tips and information, and I don't know. I don't know if it's the algorithms. Like, I don't even want to blame my friends or say that maybe they're not seeing it, maybe they're just not seeing it and it's just cut down. But Stu and I were just chatting about how to best communicate on Facebook. And I have a group called Awaken Patriots of Long Island. And I know, Stu, you're gonna set up one as well.
On my original Facebook account, I had my profile, but I also had a Stu's News channel, and the people that were interested came across into there, and it was good. But it's demoralising, isn't it, when you make a post to friends and all that, would you mind sharing this or doing this or have a look at this? And it seems like you get no interaction. Now, I do know that even though I'm on my 8th account, I am still shadow banned on there because people say they do not see my content coming up in the feed.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. So it's not really our friends that don't want to share it.
No, it's you. Then it's got an highlight button as well, hasn't it? Have you seen that? You can tag that at highlight and all that, and it sends it out to more people. But do I know it does? I've got absolutely no idea whatsoever. But no, people say they have to come to my profile, or if you search for people, they start coming up in your feeds. But I generally don't do anything on Facebook. I piggyback. I mean, if I make 100 posts a day on my Telegram, I maybe put 3 or 4 on my Facebook page. And
sorry, guys. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I hit my Rumble channel because I just wanted to see if everything was cool, and it was live, and it wasn't muted. So I apologize for that. Yeah. So I think it's just that we're not, you just lose. And you know what? I don't even know it's about shadow banning. I think it's the way that Facebook works. Because if you're not interacting with a lot of people or different people, they don't even, they stop seeing your posts.
Yeah, well, I am to blame for that, really, because I post on my Facebook.
Yeah.
If anyone comments on my Facebook, I'll respond or not respond or ignore or whatever, depending on the comment. But I don't engage anywhere else. I don't go through the feed. I don't really look at what other people are doing. I'm too busy doing all this stuff. And
me too.
It is depressing, the Facebook feed, a lot of the time, and it's just
like all those friends, like you don't see them. So I guess it's based on interaction or, but whatever, it is what it is. And I like the group, and maybe just who wants us to set up maybe like a Patriots across the pond, like for everybody to interact in. I mean, we could do Telegram, or I don't know about Facebook. We could do Telegram. If everybody was interested, we could probably set that up. And
yeah, well, look, we've both got our own channels on there. There's no point creating another one, is there?
Yeah, that's true.
You've got your Awaken Patriots Long Island. I might just set up the Tues News on there and start
on Facebook.
Yeah, and see what happens with that. But I'm not bothered about Facebook anyway. If I shut down my 8th account, I wouldn't be at all distressed, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't take up much time in my day.
Yeah, I never really, like, maybe like 10 years ago, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, I was on there more, and my kids were little, and I would, go on there and talk about stuff. And if I went on trips, I would post stuff, but more personal. And then I was sent to, my channel actually didn't get shut down. I just was always in jail. So then I was just like, F this. And then I went on years later just to promote, professionally. And that got nothing, like absolutely nothing. So whatever, I like dealing with Telegram. I like doing the videos, obviously, on Rumble. YouTube's there too, depending on how we break the rules, because they took us down the other day too.
Yeah, twice. Hello, Wendy. There's Peter's friend there from Leon's seat. We were just saying, I don't know if you saw the start, that it's Phil Tourney can't make it today, so we're just coming on to be polite, really. There's nothing worse, is there, than sitting there waiting for someone's show to start. And Rambo put a show on the other night and all that. He set the wrong time. It was 5 hours early, so he had loads of people waiting in the chat. He had to come on and make an apology. But yeah, Phil can't make it. So we just come on. Shall I just show the trailer? Because we are trying to rebook Phil,
yes,
as soon as possible. But he's going to be talking about, he's a US Navy war veteran. He did 2 tours in Nam, and he's president of the the USS Liberty Veterans Association. And he's got an amazing story to tell about that country's bombing of the
USS Liberty. Yeah, I think it was 1967.
It was 67 during the 6-Day War, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got a little. Let's play the trailer. I was going to play it when Phil was here, but we'll do it again when he's on anyway. But
absolutely.
Let's just play this and have a little watch of this.
That's what the world really doesn't know today, and I think that's why we were sworn to secrecy, is how close we really came to a potential nuclear holocaust.
You know how much press the nuclear warheads got when they landed in Cuba?
The step toward world thermonuclear war.
Well, this was 1,000 times worse, but nobody knows about it.
Another victim was the United States naval vessel Liberty. She was mistaken for an Egyptian vessel, and Israeli ships and planes torpedoed and strafed her.
The story of the Liberty is not a whodunit, it's a whodunit.
The casualties were high, 34 American dead and 75 wounded. There were arguments later about how the error happened.
The reality of what happened is it was not a mistake, and they wanted to sink us. And what does that mean to this country?
Case closed. Mistaken identity. We're very sorry. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, there's no question. It was a big cover-up from the top on down.
What did we do wrong? Why are we being labeled the bad guys and we can't talk about it?
For the next 40 plus years, I never said anything to anyone.
No. Never. I knew it'd be the end of my career if I said anything. In the Naval Security Group, everything was secret. So just one additional secret you had to keep.
You just couldn't talk about it. It was such a secret, and with our lives threatened, and who knows if they were monitoring us or doing whatever.
You ever repeat one word about the USS Liberty and who did it to you, I'll guarantee I'll see you in Leavenworth or worse. You know what worse means?
When you're told by the President of the United States, Secretary of Defense, to keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, and that's a direct order.
Israel had America by the scruff of the neck. Such was the need to cover up what America had got up to during the Six-Day War.
His girlfriend from the Mossad told him that he could raise all kinds of money to continue the Vietnam War.
He had been contacted by a man with a hoarse voice who said that he'd been a pilot that attacked the Liberty, and suddenly he disappears. There's no record. Can only suspect that it was as he feared. They deported him, they turned him over to the Israelis, took him back to Israel, court-martialed him secretly, and maybe have executed him.
The Liberty is a microcosm of this much bigger problem in the Middle East. And Americans need to know what happened. The story has to be told.
And so that we were under attack
by unknown jet aircraft.
They say get over it. You don't get over something like this. It haunts you.
The men would bring the body pieces up to me, and I tried to put them together to make a body out of them.
I don't know what the hell happened, and I haven't taken time to find out. I know nothing about it.
What I'm about to tell you is for your ears only. You are not to tell anyone during my lifetime.
I'm surprised I can even talk about that.
Never said.
That type of horror, your body is not going to remember. Your brain's not going to record it.
I think we sacrificed a lot of people for no good reason.
I am not saying anything about the Liberty, period.
That's horrific, isn't it?
It's so awful. And I don't want to spoil the show that we're going to do with Phil, but having interviewed him before, he was also part of DearMrPresident.net. He was one of the podcasters, because he does have his own podcast where he talks about a lot of these things. But what I will say just at the end of that short trailer for Sacrificing Liberty, which is available on Rumble, I believe, is the anger when you just hear Robert McNamara. Like, you guys, if you haven't already heard Phil's story and he comes on and he tells it, the outrage of these politicians, saying he didn't know anything. And wait till you find out what he did know and what he said.
Yeah. It's a big club and we ain't in it, Yeah. And it's just terrific stuff. But it's such a shame Phil can't be here today, but we're just going to do it.
Yeah, we'll get him on. We'll get him on again. He's amazing. And what I think, like, when he's telling me this story, because he's an older gentleman, right? We're older at this point too, and you forget, like, you're listening to this older this older veteran talk about something, and then you have to remember these were kids.
Over 20.
they were kids that were bombed, that were on that. I can't even imagine the terror and the fear. I mean, anybody would have, but you know what I'm saying? These are like young kids. Anybody out there who's a parent, you have kids 18, 19, 20 years old, you know.
Well, also the people in this, I wish I'd just get on with it and make the arrests and stuff like that. He was 20, he's 77 now, 57 years. This has been on his mind and been trying to get this truth out and stuff. So people should just take a step back when they think about things like that. And how many patriots have been in this? I've been doing it nearly 25 years, right? And I'm not one of those people. I'm not a black pillar. I'll get on with it and all that. I'm watching it unfold. We're living in the greatest time in human history.
Yeah.
You know, but some people, like Phil, have been doing it twice as long as I have. You know?
Yeah. And with no no support. You know, their own government is just has not even acknowledged what they're talking about. So anyway, all that to say, we're so sorry, guys. But you know, for anybody who just kind of joined, Phil Tourney, who is our guest today, amazing veteran with an incredible story. He had a friend who hit a deer while driving at 65 miles an hour. So we do want to send a lot of well wishes and blessings that his friend is okay, but he went to go help him. So we had to cancel his appearance. So we'll let you guys know when we reschedule it for. And
of course.
Yeah.
But we have got a few shows coming up. Tomorrow it's Dr. Randy Shannon. We'll be on Thursday as usual, 10:30 Eastern, 3:30 GMT. I mean, we could waffle on a bit about that now, but we'll save that for Thursday.
Okay.
On Friday, we've got Carol Maureen Freeson, one of the co-producers of Dear Mr. President, and she's also got a sort of healing center sanctuary business. She's
the Lightworkers Institute in Costa Rica. Yep.
That's right. Okay, and then going into December the 1st, Monday, we've got Kerry Cassidy. On the Wednesday of that week, the 3rd, we've got Melissa Webb-Pill, one of my faves. Love her energy.
Yes.
Patriots across the pond. Thursday, Friday next week, we've got Jason Q on again for a bit of deeper diving. Monday, the 8th of December, Derek Johnson is coming on. Tuesday the 9th, R.A. Castaldo. I haven't met him, but you know a little bit more about him, Elisa. Everyone knows Derek Johnson, of course, Melissa Webb-Pill and Kerry Cassidy. So
yes, our Ra, he has actually pronounced it Ra Castaldo. He was one of the speakers at the New York Awakening Summit. He is absolutely brilliant when it comes to the plasma, the universe, just the information that he kind of walks around with. He's just incredible. So I think that you're going to be in for a real, like, mind-blowing deep dive into what's really going on. He's also had some interesting experiences.
Yeah. Wednesday the 10th of December, Bruce Poppy's coming on, which should be great. I've only chatted to him for 10 minutes in my Dear Mr. Podcasters Marathon. Again, it feels like, right, in the Podcasters Marathon, but that's the quickest 10 minutes of my life. And so I just got as much in there as I could, really. Then we're on again on Thursday, as usual. Jason Q's every 2 weeks. So, and then the following week, on Wednesday the 17th, we've got Sue Lingenfelter.
Yes, that's how you say it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's Sue do?
So Sue is actually a Long Islander. She works out in Suffolk County, which is the furthest east county in New York, Long Island, and she works with human trafficking, to prevent and fight human trafficking here on Long Island. So she's got some pretty tough stuff that she's doing and works with a team. So we're going to bring her on to talk about what's going on.
Yeah. Sweet. Another
Hopefully
amazing...
inspire other people, that we all feel kind of helpless in this, but it's just average people like us that can make the difference, especially with a lot of these survivors, and just also being able to alert people about what to look for, if someone's being trafficked.
Yeah, excellent. Very interesting. Thursday the 18th, you and I waffling on again, and then it'll be Friday the 19th, Jason on again for the fortnightly deeper dives. And that's what we've got sort of booked in over the next 3-4 weeks. And it'll be
very exciting.
Great to get on with all those guests and pose some tough questions if we can.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, we're kind of covering the gamut. We have a lot, like all different categories that we're trying to get people on, from, geopolitics to spirituality to historic events. So I'm having a blast. And just another reminder to everyone, we have confirmed that we're going to be having the next New York patriotic event, which is called the Awakening Summit, which is going to take place April 25th and 26th. It's going to take place in Nassau County. And we have our lineup of speakers is growing, but so far we've got myself and Stu, who are going to be your masters of ceremony. We have Derek Johnson confirmed to come to this event, as well as Joe Rosati and Scott Stone from Truth Stream. Bruce Poppy is in. We've got Lisa Schermerhorn, who has confirmed that she's going to be part of it. Lady D. Feel like I'm leaving some folks. Well, we got a few that are unconfirmed right now. So they're yes, but we haven't gotten a final confirmation. So each week when we come on here, we'll be able to update you a little bit more. But it's going to be a great event. We're going to start pre-selling and offering some early bird specials probably January, right after the first of the year. Those tickets will go on sale. And it's going to be really exciting.
And Elisa was talking to an amazing mystery woman yesterday, weren't you? Which we won't reveal, but if she can make it, that'll be outstanding, because she has been a massive voice in this movement over the last 5 years, especially. Obviously, our Rumble channels are the channels to follow. Everyone, if you, we don't really care about YouTube. There's mine. There's Elisa's. Everything's in the description under this Rumble video. But if you want to know what's coming up in the future, as soon as we get a guest confirmed, I load it onto my YouTube channel into the upcoming live streams. So it's all there like a little calendar for you. But don't watch on Rumble. We don't really like YouTube. We don't really like them.
Yeah. The only good thing about YouTube, as opposed to Rumble, is that YouTube allows us to load up in advance, and have the full array of who's like our roster of who's coming on the shows. Whereas with Rumble, we can't really do it until the day before. So YouTube's a good resource to go to. So you guys could look, whether it's Stu's channel, my channel, doesn't matter, just on YouTube, go and check out. So you can, mark the dates and, be aware. But we've got, I'm crossing my fingers for the mystery potential guest that I spoke to yesterday, a really, really dynamic force in the movement since really like 2020. And so we're hopeful that she'll not only potentially be a speaker at our event if she can make it, but also be a guest in the month of January. That's what we're shooting for right now, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, since we're live and I'd love to hear if there's anyone you guys would like to have us. We have our list, so we're not sharing it with you yet, who we're kind of going after right now, so we can surprise you. But we'd love to hear from you if there's anybody you would like us to try to get in touch with and get on the show. It's always good to get your input.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few people in there, which is love to everyone, as always.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I don't, there's so much going on. Let's just say one thing we saw today, that General Flynn posted and I want to read this right. I'm certain others will have their opinions, but mine is not an opinion. It's based on hard evidence. Tagged at Real Donald Trump should hire Sidney Powell as the Attorney General immediately. I'm sorry, AG Pam Bondi, but this was completely avoidable. As for Comey, don't think it's over, and you know it. You committed crimes against our country. So, are we about to see the release of the Kraken?
You know what I find so interesting, and I think now we can see a pattern. You know, before when things were happening and there were these like little spats and fights, and this one was moving out and you didn't see that one anymore. You know, now you're able to see sort of from that 40,000 foot view, it's all very strategic and very orchestrated. Like even what we just saw over the past weekend and last Friday with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, I don't know if we're that naive to really think that her and President Trump are at odds with one another. But, you know, there's so many reasons, one of which is that we know that POTUS is well insulated and we're not going to hear him say things that need to be said. And so there's going to be a lot of these other players that are going to say it for him, i.e. talking about how both sides, you know, are not doing their job and are corrupt. But it's very interesting that so many of these players, they have their role. They're in the forefront. They play that role. They bring certain truths to the forefront, and they also awaken another group of people, right, as they're doing what they do, and then they're sort of removed from the stage. So I'm finding that pretty fascinating. And I think the same is true with Pam Bondi. You know, like that was all to say that we're looking at that again, you know.
It's a perfectly scripted movie, and a lot of these people are placeholders for others. And don't forget, I think it was Charlie Ward said 4 years ago, 4+ years ago, that someone saw Sidney Powell turning up at Guantanamo Bay in full military fatigues. Remember that?
Yes, yes.
And, you know, if we're going to have military tribunals and public military tribunals, I'd love to see her there at the front of it. Release that Kraken. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking yesterday about, we've talked about this a little bit, right? This whole idea of how time, when you look back and we say, oh my gosh, like 5 years ago, where did it go? I mean, it feels like it just went by in a snap. And I just have to wonder, you know, we know that Trump says a lot of things and there's a lot of meanings. There's a lot of 5 levels to everything he says. But, you know, Operation Warp Speed, I wonder if part of that is that the timelines, not just the exposure of stuff that was, you know, sped up, but also I wonder if the timelines has sped up. And we've talked amongst ourselves a lot of times that we all feel somehow that we've like aged, like a lot of time has gone by. And yet when you look back, you're like, how did it go by so fast? So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't have enough knowledge but something feels like there's a connection there, because it doesn't feel like the snap of a finger. I mean, we're all complaining, you know, oh, when's this going to happen? When's that going to happen? And you hear people continue to complain, but it does feel like, where the hell did 5 years go?
The thing about that is they couldn't tell us. We know the Q team has had to manipulate us all, and they've used us, the Anons, the diggers, in a certain way, maybe to steer the deep state or the cabal in the wrong direction or whatever. But if we'd have been told 5 years ago, right, when we were all thinking Joe Biden was going to have his mask ripped off, you know, at the inauguration,
right,
21 and all that, Scooby-Doo ending and the military come down in helicopters and stuff. If we'd have been told then, no guys, it's going to be another 4 or 5 years, we wouldn't we'd have all gone and done well, not everyone, but we might not have paid as much attention and been as involved as digital soldiers and whatever else. You know, I've got some friends there, they're called the Yellow Borders, and they go out every Saturday from midday to 2 p.m. and they stand on roundabouts and traffic, all standing there with big yellow signs, no digital ID, and handing out a newspaper and stuff like that. And, you know, whatever part you've got in this and your involvement, if you're engaged and you're using your voice, you are fighting on God's army. You are part of this QT military civilian alliance, aren't you?
Absolutely.
I think the people that aren't are going to be so embarrassed that they didn't get involved when they had the chance, and they ignored what people are telling them, and they buried their head in the sand, and I'm all right in my bubble jack.
I agree. And, you know, if anybody caught our show yesterday with Laura Eisenhower, remember when she said,
amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I rewatched it last night because there was so much that she said that, like, you know, it goes in, but you got, like, you need to really kind of focus. But when she said how each time we don't comply or we stand up and fight, it's I forgot her exact words, but she was basically saying it's destroying that control and that system that they've had us in, you know. And so exactly, you know, everybody has a way that they could be part of this, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it? Okay, all right, shall we leave it there then? I've just put...
I think so, guys, but we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be on 10:30 Eastern. We have Dr. Randy Shannon. She's a naturopath. She is going to talk about some really interesting 5,000 plus year, I guess, medical ways of diagnosing, you know, with this method that she uses. And if many of you are not familiar with Dr. Shannon, she was also a Fox affiliate for like 8 years. And of course, she got thrown off during COVID for being a little outspoken about her thoughts. Obviously, they weren't real positive, and so they kicked her off. But the good news is she has been thriving even better since that. So, you know, the universe works in some pretty mysterious ways. And so she's going to be joining us tomorrow. So we'll be back here before you know it. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks. We love you all, guys. I've just put a little bit of Trump Never Give Up on the end as a little 6-minute outro.
And just, I see some people just came on board. Just so you know, we were scheduled today at 12:30 Eastern. But what happened was that our guest, Phil Tourney, who's a Navy veteran, he had to cancel last minute. He had to go help a friend who hit a deer while driving. So we're sending prayers to the friend. So you didn't really miss a broadcast. We just came on to say hello and give a little bit of an overview of what's coming over the next couple of, next month or so with guests, which can all be found on either of our YouTube channels. We have all the shows that are up, that are upcoming. And of course, when you watch it, definitely tune into our Rumble channels.
Yes, like and subscribe, and every thumbs up is a smile on our faces. So yeah, lots of love, guys. If you're joining us with Dr. Randy Shannon, we'll see you tomorrow. But make good use of this next hour that we won't be on. Have a glass of wine or a beer or whatever you want to do, and we'll see you tomorrow. Little bit of Trump now. Never give up. Lots of love. Where we go, one we go all.
Years from now, some of them may look back and ask themselves whether they've made the right choice, whether they've made the most of the opportunities they've been given. Together, we have the same mission. Over the course of your life, you will find that things are not always fair. You will find that things happen to you that you do not deserve and that are not always warranted. But you have to put your head down and fight, fight, fight. Never, ever, ever give up. Don't give in. Don't back down, and never stop doing what you know is right. Nothing worth doing ever, ever, ever came easy. And the more righteous your fight, the more opposition that you will face. In your hearts are inscribed the values of service, sacrifice, and devotion. Now you must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. It is why our currency proudly declares, "In God we trust." And it's why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation under God. The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings. The next generation of American leaders never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit. Never quit. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. Carry yourself with dignity and pride. Demand the best from yourself. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward. And always have the courage to be yourself. America is better when people put their faith into action. Pray to God and follow His teachings. Today, each of you begins a new chapter as well. When your story goes from here, it will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. You will build a future where we have the courage to chase our dreams no matter what the cynics and the doubters have to say. You will have the confidence to speak the hopes in your hearts and to express the love that stirs your souls. As long as you have pride in your beliefs, courage in your convictions, and faith in God, then you will not fail. As long as America remains true to its values, loyal to its citizens, and devoted to its Creator, then our best days are yet to come. May God bless the class of 2017. May God bless the United States of America. And I just want to let you know that God blesses you. And I want to just say, you are special in every way. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.